Alright, so why? Why do we need to edit? To begin with, the most important part of proofreading is to be not embarrassed by your writing. Everybody makes mistakes, we're all human, okay? I make mistakes, Mr. Beige makes mistakes in their writing, everybody makes mistakes, okay? So, understanding that you're not a bad writer just because you make mistakes the first time you go through your writing, okay? That doesn't mean you're bad. You are a bad writer, though, if you don't go back through and proofread, okay, and try to catch and change your mistakes. So, we have Ms. Sidwell's 6 tactics for proofreading. Okay? Here they are. First, read aloud slowly. Okay, you're going to notice a common theme between all 6 of these. They basically all are in place to slow you down and make sure that you're reading carefully. Okay, the enemy of good proofreading is fast proofreading. Okay, unless you reach a point where your skills are such that it's possible. However, we're going to assume that your skills are not there, so reading slowly is important. The other key is to read aloud. When you read aloud, it allows you to hear mistakes that you've made in your writing that your brain fills in for you when you just read. Okay? Second, touch the pencil to each word. Okay? And once again, this slows you down. Okay? If you're just reading, your brain speeds up. You tend to automatically fix mistakes without catching them. So touch the pencil to each word. Cover up all but one line at a time. This is another technique to slow you down. You're not distracted by what's above you and below you where you're reading. Okay? Your brain doesn't want to read ahead to the next sentence quickly. Cover up one line at a time. Fourthly, read from the end of the paper to the beginning. So the last sentence to the first sentence. Okay? Once again, this slows you down because it forces your brain to do something it's not used to. Okay? It makes the writing really jerky, right? Typically you read from the beginning to the end, so it breaks up the flow, stops your brain from racing ahead, okay, and filling in mistakes that you make. Fifth thing, ask a partner to be your monitor. Somebody else, when you read aloud to them especially, can hear your mistakes. They won't naturally fill them in like you would, okay, because they don't know what you're trying to say. The last thing, proofread multiple times and focus on only one thing each time. Instead of proofreading once and trying to find every possible mistake that you could make while you're writing, focus on one thing. Maybe the first time you go through your writing, you look for fragments, sentence fragments. The next time you go through, you look for spelling mistakes. Third time, you look for punctuation mistakes. Okay? Single it down, compartmentalize it. This helps to keep it from looking daunting, overwhelming, which I feel like a lot of kids feel like when they take up a piece of their writing. They've got all these things they've been taught in the state scoring rubric they're supposed to be focusing on, and it just becomes a blur. Okay? So in the end, you just end up skimming through, maybe finding a few obvious mistakes, not really focusing in. Break it down. Go for one thing at a time. Alright? Let's go through an example. So I had you guys write 2 to 3 paragraphs predicting how atoms bond together to form compounds. So how elements combine to form compounds. So this is what chapter 19, what we just started to study. So this was a prediction, so obviously I didn't expect you to know exactly what happened. That's fine. Okay? Here's an example. Now, I'm going to go through this sentence myself, then we will go through a sentence together. Okay? So, I'm going to touch each word as I go. I'm going to read slowly. Okay? Notice I'm starting at the bottom of the paragraph, and I'm going to go up to the first sentence, and the last sentence to the first sentence. So, I think that elements combine by link their electrons and protons together. I'm going to read it again. I think that elements combine by link. That doesn't sound right. Okay? I'm going to highlight this, circle it. Something's got to be wrong. Okay? How could I fix this? I need an ing ending, right? Okay? By linking their electrons and protons together. So I read it through. I've tapped each word. I found my mistake. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to highlight it on the computer. Okay? Their electrons and protons together. Alright. I'm going to scroll up to the next sentence. I'm going to go through the sentence and tap each word. When you guys think there is a mistake, I want you to raise your hands. Okay? When you think you see a mistake, raise your hand. It is not magic that make the elements combine. Okay? So I'll go slowly again. I went a little fast that time. So it, are we good with it? Is not magic that make. Okay, so we're going to highlight that. We'll come back to it. I think there's got to be something wrong with make. The elements combine, so it must be some explainable process. So I only saw hands for make. Can somebody suggest what could I do to fix make? Okay, I need to add an S. Okay, I need to add an S. Alright. Okay, so we've done two sentences. We're heading going backwards. I'm tapping. Okay? I'm going to hand out a slip. Okay? And I want you to practice with the partner proofreading by doing the last paragraph. So I've done we've done the two sentences from the first paragraph. There's one more paragraph as part of this essay on this little slip. I want you to go through with the partner. I want one person to read one sentence. Okay, the other person listen. Underline any mistakes that you notice. Then the next person read a sentence. Okay, the other person listens. Underline any mistakes that you notice. Okay, so forth. There's about 3 to 4 sentences, so each person should maybe read twice. Okay, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to go through this. So as soon as you get your paper, one person, please start reading. Okay, so you're reading aloud, right? That means I should hear voices. This is one time where I should hear voices. Bottom paragraph. Yes, just the bottom paragraph, guys.
Oh, the bottom paragraph.
Bottom paragraph, right? We already started the bottom paragraph. Bottom paragraph, right? Bottom paragraph. Bottom paragraph. Just got one paragraph, yeah.
The fourth one. Yeah, there's four.
Just underline the problem for now, it's fine. Okay, if you know how to fix it, you can. Okay guys, I'm going to pull everybody together again. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to call maybe one or two groups to offer an example of a mistake they found. So we'll start here with Haley's group. Haley, in the first paragraph you read, which was the last paragraph actually, what was the mistake that you guys found? So I'm talking about the last sentence here, which is the first sentence you should have read. Okay, so you can either get rid of the S or the A. Either way would work. Okay. Now, notice guys, the computer found this mistake. Did the computer show any of these other mistakes? No. Okay, and there's a lot of mistakes in here. You'd agree, right? This is why proofreading is important. Not just trust technology. Now, if I click the spell check, it might find a few other things. Okay, but not necessarily. All right. Lily's group. Did you find a mistake in this sentence? Stuff should be stiff. This force will stick them together until a stronger atom with more protons or packs than the atoms. The bond plus apart. Okay. All right. I'd like to do a finger vote. How many of you guys feel confident using these proofreading tactics? Okay, they make sense. You feel like you can use them on your own. So 3 is yes, I could. 1 is no, I couldn't. 2 is maybe with a little more practice. So can I see a vote? Okay. So I'm seeing most of you guys look like you're 3s, all right? So, that's great. So hopefully you see that by slowing down, reading aloud, tap touching each word, reading in reverse, and having a proofreading partner when you're writing will help your conventions and clarity. Okay? From now on, you're going to be expected to use these tactics in class on any writing that we turn in, okay, to proofread your writing, okay? And so hopefully you guys use these skills to pass the writing test next year. Most of your sophomores will be taking the writing test next year. Here's what I'd like you to do now. I'd like you to get out your 2 to 3 paragraph essay on your prediction for chemical bonding. And I'd like you to use the first 4 tactics. I have them written here. I'd like you to use the first 4 tactics to proofread your writing. Okay? If you weren't here, I have another essay I can hand out to you.